North Carolina resident and owner of Payne Equestrian in Rougemont, Doug Payne. Doug, good morning. Really appreciate the time.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Of course. Curious how you got involved in equestrian and when you realized that you had a chance to get yourself into some of these international competitions.
Yeah, we're lucky enough. Grew up with it. My mom actually judged at the Rio Games and the games in Hong Kong. And, one thing leads to another. I actually went to school for mechanical engineering. Kind of didn't think I'd be heading that direction, but opportunity presented itself and haven't looked back since.
What do you make of the equestrian competition so far at these games?
Yeah, it's wonderful. I mean, I don't know if anybody has had an opportunity. If not, go check them out. The venue in the Palace of Versailles. I mean, the setting is just unbelievable. They had the eventing competition just wrapped up yesterday, and they were galloping through the gardens. It was just absolutely stunning. And top class competition, unparalleled. Great opportunity to see the very best in the world compete.
As we mentioned, you did compete in those delayed games in Tokyo in 2020. What was your experience like at the Olympic Games?
I think unlike anything that we've ever seen, everybody would understand with COVID it was dramatically different than it would have been otherwise. We had no spectators, and you had this, aside from the most pressure you'd ever have in a competitive situation, you're doing daily COVID tests. They could pluck you out at any moment if you happen to have a positive. Get the thing kind of hanging over your head. But, what a privilege to represent the United States and, something we work our life for. And to have that chance was exceptionally special.
You brought up my next point, representing USA. For a lot of people don't have the opportunity to represent their country at anything, much less a competition on an international stage. Can you just speak to what you feel when you put USA on, when you're representing your country at an Olympic Games?
Yeah, it's really difficult to put into a concise bit of words there. It's something that, we spend our life with that dream. My wife and I, and we've got two kids, they're 4 and 6. We're based just in Rougemont, about 25 minutes north of Durham. All of our day-to-day is with the hopes of representing our country, but, all the stars have to align, and, your horse has to be in top class, top shape, and, somehow dodge the injury bug, and, to actually have the chance to step on the field of play and, represent the United States is exceptionally, it's just what a privilege. And you try to, when you're actually on the field of play, you're trying to minimize the importance, but it certainly hits you afterwards that, it's an opportunity that many would dream of, and we're lucky enough to have taken part in.
What's the training like to get a horse and get yourself ready for an Olympic Games?
It's lifelong. Most of the horses that we've had here, we often either breed or buy them as weanlings, so they'd be quite young. We start them up when they're roughly 4, but I would say their peak, their prime in their career is anywhere between sort of 10 would be just getting there, and maybe on the tail end of it is upper teens. The horse I rode was 17 actually at the time, so it's it's decades of day-to-day refining their abilities and training, and it's one process. And I'll tell you the other aspect that is difficult for most to understand is the lead up to it. We were gone for nearly a month leading up to the competition. For Tokyo, we had to quarantine in Aachen, Germany, so we were there for two weeks, and then they flew from Aachen 24 hours door to door, the wrong way around the world, really, all the way out to Tokyo. So the logistics, the team behind you is exceptional, between vets, farriers, your day-to-day grooms that help out, transport. I mean, everything. It is a monumental task.
When people hear equestrian, maybe they're very surface level. They think, it's just about horses. What would you say to maybe our listener, the average fan of sport, about equestrian, and what you'd like them to know about your sport in that competition?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's it's a true partnership. I think it's unlike maybe there's a lot of analogous aspects to, say, motor racing. If you have the absolute fastest car, that's going to certainly help you out a lot. And of course, you're not going to win the race with a subpar quality, but the relationship with the horse is unparalleled. And we would know, the partner that you're riding in that competition, you've had years of experience with, them inside and out, how they react. And there's a whole lot to it, but it's much more of a team effort than it is just kind of hop on and kick on and go sort of situation.
As I let you go, as we mentioned, you're the owner of Payne Equestrian there in Rougemont. What do you want folks to know about the work that you guys do on a daily basis there at the barn, and how can our folks go and find out more about you?
Yeah, day to day, we've got probably 26 horses right now, and we've got both, sort of subset. Probably half of them are horses that we are developing, hopefully for team competition, and then the other half is for clients. We've got a number of kids and professionals that would end up going to either Duke or Chapel Hill or NC State, that sort of stuff, and that whole crew, not on an international level, but they go around and train and compete with us, and it's just a wonderful group. And we do have an in-house clinic series that is open to all, and that runs every sort of 6 weeks to 2 months. But if anybody's interested, certainly check it out and come on over and see what we're all about.
Doug Payne, 2020 Olympian and the owner of Payne Equestrian in Rougemont. Doug, really appreciate the time, and I look forward to having you back on the show again in the future.
Yeah, thanks for it.